This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Look, you've been to many garage sales, you've seen a bunch of junk, you've gone to some storage units and seen people with a bunch of junk in there. There's even a TV show about it, Storage Wars, where people just buy people's junk. Today we're doing sort of the same thing, but in a fantasy setting. We're talking about Vault Wars here. This is 3 to 5 players. You're gonna be bidding on some fantasy characters' vaults. They've gone away and you're gonna find some armor and some gems and such. There's some special abilities, some interesting auction mechanisms. So let's take a look at this. I'll show you how it played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of Vault Wars, everyone's going to start with $20, and everyone's going to get 2 cards of basically aspiring heroes in the game. And these would be secret, nobody else would see these, and they have a special sort of end game that you're trying to concentrate on. Now, this one says, hey, I get 3 points for every 2 gem items rounded down. This one says I get plus 4 points for every dragon item I have at the end of the game. Now, these are secret to everybody, and you are only going to use one of these at the end of the game. You get to keep them both, but throughout the game, you're trying to figure out which one's going to score you more points and which strategy you're going to focus on. Everyone will also get these vault cards. You'll get a certain amount depending on the number of players. Now, by the way, there is a deluxe version of this game that comes with these amazingly heavy metal coins. I think it's about a $25 upgrade to get these coins. But man, you could use them in this game and you can use them in a bunch of other games too. These are excellent coins. Now let's say these are the 4 vault cards I got. Now, by the way, I was randomly assigned these, but you can also choose to draft these where everyone gets them and you do a draft to figure out which ones you have. Now, from these, I'm going to select one specific one. Let's just say I pick this one, and everyone's going to put it face down. Once everyone has put their vaults face down, let's say there's that one, and the other people submitted these ones, in front of them, we flip them up and we look at which ones these are. In priority order, they will get auctioned off. So, for example, this one is number 1, this one's 13, this is 6 and 11. So we're going to auction this one off first, then this one, and then this one. Now each auction has some certain things. Some of them actually will have a special ability. Like this one says, Auction Master, after drawing items, you must add 1 item from your item pile to this vault items. So I might have some items from earlier in the game, and I would need to add it to this pile. Now what this says is there's going to be 3 items from this big item deck that's going to be in this specific vault. Now, I am going to have to look at those. I will secretly look at these 3 items, and then I will place one of them revealed to everybody that everyone can see. Now, this is junk. They're basically worth nothing. Some of these items will tell you how much gold they're worth. This is nothing. How many points? Nothing. Junk is just junk. There are some guys, like some of the special guys here that actually like junk. There's certain things you can do with junk. Some cards let you sell junk for more, but in general, they're not that good. Now, everyone else from the other cards that I have, which are 2 in this case, I'm going to shuffle these and give them to my player to my left. They're going to look at one of these. They're going to shuffle them up, pass to the next player. Everyone gets to secretly look at one after they're shuffled, and then basically I start the auction. Now, I will start the auction as the auction master, and I will say, let's say I bid 2. Right, and I keep it in my hand. Now, money can be hidden in this game. You can keep money in your hand, and it goes around in a circle. The next player has to bid 2. Now, the auction master, the one who started this, only gets 1 bid. They'll bid 2, and if that's not high enough, they won't win. But everybody else gets to bid or pass. They have to either increase or pass. If you pass, you can come back into the auction again. And essentially, whoever's the highest one and everybody else passes gets to win this. So this basically gets discarded unless it says you keep it. Some of the vaults you can keep, and it could be a dwarven item or an elven item, but this one would get discarded, and they would get these specific items like this, and they would just basically put them down in front of them, and then we would auction off the next one, and so on and so forth. After all in this case, a 4-player game, after all of the ones have been auctioned off, that's the end of the auction part of the round. And here's my 2 guys, and all the stuff that I bought in those 4 auctions, I can first equip any of them. Some of the cards say equip, and if you want, you can just put them face down. They're equipped for the entire game, and you can no longer get rid of them. Now, at the end of the game, if I don't equip this, it's worth 2 points. If I equip it, it's not going to be worth any points because I've equipped it, but this tells me I pay 1 per every junk item. Usually you have to pay 1 for every 3 junk items, so this is better. Handy haversack. So I could equip this, and it inducts a special ability. Maybe a different special ability. I might want to equip the this stone here, where selling weapons for +2. So anytime I would sell a weapon, I'd get 2 more coins than I really want. Then after that, if I decided which ones I'm going to equip, essentially I'm going to be able to sell. You can sell up to 4 items from my item pile that I have here. Now, junk, again, you can see what you sell things for. Junk's worth nothing, but you might have cards that let you sell it for more. And we can sell things off up to 4 items. Now, these types of items, so I could have sold this for 4, or I'm trying to do set collection, where at the end of the game, depending on how many gems I have, or collect diamonds, if I get 3 of these, they'd be 3 points each. If I get 2 of them, so that'd be 6 points, and so on and so forth. Now, one of my special ladies here, I think one of the ones I was talking about, was like this. In the game, plus 3 points for every 2 gem cards. So I might want to keep this and try to continue to get gems. Now, after I've done this, I can decide to visit the loan shark. After everyone's equipped and sold, the loan shark allows you to get $12 if you have less than $12, but you must take a corruption token in order to do so. These corruption tokens are bad because at the end of the game, they're worth -2 if you have one of them, -3 for each, or 3 or more, they're -4 each. So it's really bad to see the corruption really more than once, and so you could do that. Now, after you do that, you're going to then pay storage fees. Anything that not the equipped ones, these are equipped and you're wearing them, you're not storing them. But let's say I stored all of these, I got rid of the junk, and oh yeah, some of the things you can get are dragon's eggs, which are bad. If you have one of them, they're -1 point, -1 for 2 of them, or you can get +6. So they're really bad unless you get a bunch of them. Now, let's say I have these 2 items in my pack there, and I have to pay storage $1 on everything. So over the course of the game, as I start getting more and more items into my pile, I'm going to have to continue to pay storage fees on those. Now, at this point, after I've paid storage fees, if you want to, and you have not yet visited the loan shark this round, it kind of gives you a chance to do so, just to make sure that, hey, maybe you forgot about the storage fees, now you can go see the loan shark. That would be the end of the round. You would do this again until all these vault cards are pretty much gone, and then you would score up all the points on all your items that you've got, plus scoring some of your additional points from one of your 2 special people. And if you have a lot of money left, $10 would be a point, and you see whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, just to show you some of the other cards of the items that are in here. So here's some armor. It's an elven item. Some people like elven items. They might be worth something if you have the special guy. And you can sell things, but they sell for more if you have a shield or a chest plate. So maybe you get these 2 together and you sell them together and you get more money. You're kind of working on that. Sometimes you have weapons. Some people like weapons. Some people have things that sell weapons for more. And this is a dragon item. And then you can have, another weapon like a dwarven axe. You can have more types of different rubies and emeralds and different things that you can collect. Now, there's also an expansion that comes with the game. It's called Workers. Essentially, put 5 cards down next to a draw pile, and at certain parts in the round, you'll be able to buy some of these. Now, you can never have more than 2 in your hand, but if you buy one, this one's 5, 4, 3, 2, and $1. So you could buy this guy for $3, and you get him, and essentially a new guy would come out. This would push down, and then the one furthest away here would also get removed. These would push down, and a new one would come out. And you can't have more than 2, and they just allow you to do different things like exchange your vaults for another player's vaults, or some people can't peek, or it just gives you another layer of strategy and depth that you could spend money to use some special abilities. All right, well, there is Vault Wars. So first of all, this game has been highly regarded by a lot of media personalities in the board game world, so I want to check it out. I'm not usually typically a fan of fantasy themes, but the mechanisms seem so interesting here. First of all, I also want to make a note that those awesome coins that I showed, that's the deluxe version. Man, if you like this game and you think it's for you, get those coins too. Get the deluxe edition. I think it's only off the publisher's website because you could use those for any game. Anyway, the Vault Wars. There's a lot of mechanisms that I did enjoy in this game. I like the idea of you're getting a vault. I like the idea of some of them having special abilities. I like the idea of, with those different vaults, a certain amount you get to see them all, and then the vault master gets to reveal one, or some, and then the other people get to peek at some, and there's some hidden information. You might know something, you might not, and I liked that aspect of it. The bidding was just fine. It makes them go around. I like how the auction master had to bid his first and only thing once. That was a cool little twist. And getting the stuff, cool. So I liked a lot of that stuff. I liked how you could equip stuff and the choice of, whether you're equipping something and am I going to get rid of these points and equip it for the special ability all game? Or do I want to keep it and pay storage fees on it just to get the points at the end? So overall, there were some interesting things that I did like about the game. I did have some issues with the game that sort of rubbed me maybe not the right way, but not the wrong way, but just didn't feel quite right for me. And that was a lot of the beating up that I felt like I took. Now, I understand this is a tight economic game, and I understand that when you play auction games, the more and more you play the same game, the better you'll know what things are worth and things like that. But I just felt like in this game, you're really trying to collect sets, whether it's armor or elf stuff or dwarf stuff or dragon stuff or vaults themselves. And I love that special abilities or those cards you get at the beginning, you can use one or two of them, and you're kind of like going through both of them during the game. At the end, you can pick which one scores. I thought that was a really cool idea. The major problem I had with the game was I feel like you got punished for doing what the game wanted you to do. The game wants you to collect sets. Clearly, that's the name of the game. You're trying to get as much as you can for the least amount of money, and you're going to collect sets. I had a hard time with this because with these sets, you might get like 2 of the same gems at the beginning, or you might get a battle axe in the first round and you got it. And you're paying storage fees on this thing throughout the game, throughout the rounds and rounds and rounds. And then, like, the chest plate or the helmet never comes up to sell with it. And then, you finally decide, shoot, I'm just going to sell this thing. And then it finally comes up. And it was frustrating at times that I'm trying to collect sets. They're motivating for you to collect sets. All the goals are collecting sets. But at the same time, the more sets that you're trying to collect, the more punished you're being by having to play those storage wars. And I get it's the whole idea of the game. And I get thematically it makes sense. But I just felt like it was almost counterintuitive to itself throughout the entire game. I also felt like maybe there were too many different sets of things. Like there was a lot of different types of gems you could collect, a lot of different things. And so it was like there wasn't as much battling for specific things because everybody was going off on their own thing. Now, granted, you don't really know what they're going for. I also felt like just all the mechanisms were really cool, but the way they all kind of meshed together felt a little clumsy. I felt like this was probably a much larger game at one point, and they've kind of scaled it down and scaled it down and scaled it down. And I felt like there probably still needed to be a little bit more streamlining this to make this game really hit on all cylinders for me. Not a bad game. I could see why some people like it. I thought a lot of the mechanisms were cool. I just felt like in the end, it just didn't really hit for me. But if you like auction games, you like fantasy themes, and these mechanisms looks cool to you, a lot of people like this game, so it might be one you want to check out. But I've had some reservations because I just felt like it was a little too clunky, and I didn't like that combative conflict of interest of I want sets, but yet I don't. So there you go with that. So overall, you're going to have to make up your own mind on this one. I would try before you buy, and that is Vault Wars.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.